Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming and welcome to another first Descendant video. So time to have a look at Ultimate Lepic. Now Lepic was the candidate for the rework for the month of September, and just like Jaber in the month of August, he got a major overhaul and he is a lot better now. In fact, you will be surprised with my clear times for the first creator mission. The build has not changed at all. It's fundamentally the same thing, but because of all the different changes, he does more damage. He gets more crit damage with the second ability. He gets movement speed with the second ability. He gets a new effect called Overload, which increases the fire rate. He gets 20 stacks of that for the fire rate increase. More damage across the board, slightly more explosion rage, and Overkill also does a lot more damage, explosion damage, and also continuous damage. So all of these changes have helped him quite a bit. With the explosive stacks Transcendent module, again we get more damage increase, and we also get more number of grenades based on the range. So range is kind of important. So let me just quickly show you all these things in the lab. So first up, with the second ability, we get 60% crit damage increase. So right now we have 4.845 times. And if we activate the second ability, now we get 5.625 times. So a decent increase to the crit damage. Now he has good crit rate, so crit damage increase is useful. The other thing is an increase to the movement speed. So I have 1240 over here, sprint speed. Okay. And we have 3 sprint cores on the secret garden. This should be 1280, but I'm losing 5% with the external components set. I'll come to the external components later. But now if we activate the second ability, we get a 20% increase, and this goes up to 1400. Max is 1440 for Descendants besides Bunny and Esimo. So yeah, so he gets a movement speed increase. And then if you notice here, when I activate on the left shoulder, you'll see 2 circles pop up with the overclock. One is overclock, one is overload. The overload is 20 stacks for 10 seconds and plus 3% fire rate increase per stack, and they get consumed per bullet basically. So if we do this, the blank one is the overclock, the one with the 20 is the overload, and when we shoot, we use up the stacks. Okay, so this is the change to the second ability. The fourth ability is also doing more damage and more continuous damage. Now, the Transcendent module we are using is explosive stacks. This also got some changes. The number of grenades based on the range increases. So, for example, if we remove the range modules here and we use the first ability, 1 grenade. Okay, if we use a range mod here, let's say amplification control, we have increased the range, and now we get 2 grenades. And if we increase the range further and max it out, we get 4 grenades. So range is important in this setup. So our max range is 27 meters. We have 27 meters. We are getting 4 grenade throws here. Now, the build, as you can see, is identical. Lepic has high crit. So we are using skill insight, concentration, emergency measures, front lines. Lepic uses focus, fire, so focus on fire. First ability and fourth ability are tech skills, so we have focus on tech. 2 mods for cooldown, 2 mods for range, and that is it basically. Now, explosive stacks, this throws the grenades, and they've added an effect where the Toad ability also pulls in the grenades. So if you do this and you throw the grenades, you can see they are pulled into the middle. Now, the way we are going to use this is basically, let's get some enemies here. We pull them in. So we use the third ability, second ability, throw the nade, throw another nade if needed, and basically you kill the enemies. Now, notice the grenade is filling up the stacks slowly. If you shoot your firearm, you can fill up the stacks much faster. So if you see here on the first ability, the last line on the left, grenades are recharged whenever a certain number of bullets are consumed. So just shoot some fresh air and you will fill up your stacks faster. So let's throw all 3 stacks here. And now you can see we have to wait for it to slowly fill up. Okay, 1 and then there will be 2. Instead of that, if you just shoot, you can see we can get the 3 stacks much faster. So basically this is how you would use it. So your basically the rotation of your skills would be third ability, second ability to get the crit damage and the other things. Why did they go with it? And now we shoot to get our stacks back. We do this, our overclock is running out, we do this, shoot some more, and so on. So you'll just have to practice a little bit and you'll get the hang of it very quickly. So yeah, so that is basically the adjustment and how it goes. Now, very, very good. So yeah, so this is the build here, explosive stack. The trigger module, you have a few options here. I've settled on the power beyond because it's just a stable increase to the damage. But you can use something like death by 1,000 cuts, because the different types of projectiles, they'll add stacks, and when you have all these stacks, you basically trigger a meteor. Okay, so let's show you how it is. I've tried 2, 3, and the new one we got, that one was a little disappointing. I'll talk about that as well. But basically the first, third, and fourth abilities all have some sort of projectile, and you'll get this meteor on the range, and it'll do decent damage here. Of course, depending on how good a transcendent, how good a trigger mod you get death by 1,000 cuts. The new one they added called Blazing Zone. I'll be honest here, this one felt a bit disappointing to me. This is the best one we have. So for 4 seconds, if you use your third ability, the traction grenade, you get this circle, and your spawn rate and damage is basically what you get on the mod. I used this, but I did not really feel like it was that impressive. You can use it. It does quite a bit of damage here, continuous damage, but we are using our third and then throwing the grenades, and we are killing the enemies very quickly. So the continuous damage thing isn't really that useful in my opinion. So for me, I would say the other two, death by 1,000 cuts and your good old power beyond, those seem more viable, and that's why I'm sticking with power beyond for now, which is this one here, because we get a flat 15% base skill power increase. So at the moment, I'm satisfied. I've used both of them and I'm getting similar times. So yeah, so I'm recommending power beyond. You can use death by 1,000 cuts, but the new one is a bit of a flop in my opinion. Now, for the external components, again, you have two options. You have your Firebrand and you have your good old Slayer set. Slayer set is basically Lepic's set. It has been designed for Lepic, but we have always used it with other people. So it gives you 26% more power, and you have a chance of recovering some MP with your Toad ability. So it's tailor-made for Lepic. However, it also increases the cost a little bit, and with all these abilities that you're using, you are using a lot more MP. Plus, they've actually also increased the MP cost on the overclock. So yeah, so I kind of felt like the MP was a little bit of an issue if you spam too much. Although once you get the hang of it, it shouldn't be a problem. Also keep in mind now, when you roll, you don't sort of collide with the enemies. So if there is like a couple of MP orbs in front of you and there are a lot of enemies, just roll and pick up the MP orbs, because it doesn't count the roll as colliding with the enemy. The other issue with the Slayer set is you are very squishy. Because we are not using an HP mod, I'm getting about 7,000, a little more than 7,000 HP. And one or two occasions I did get killed because I was playing solo. I did run the First Creator mission a lot of times. So a couple of times is not that big a deal. And it was only against the Scarab, because I like to stay close to the Scarab and sort of run around in a circle so that he doesn't run around all over the place. But because of that, I got killed a couple of times. With the Firebrand, we are getting more HP, and we are reducing the enemy's fire resistance by 30%. So Slayer set is increasing your damage, your skill power by 26%. This is decreasing the resistance of the enemy by 30%. Should be helpful against the elite enemies, especially Scarab and the other elites that pop up. So yeah, so basically what I'm saying is use either one, whichever you prefer. I was getting almost identical clear times, and I've done the mission well over 20 times. And I've done the Axe Refinery a lot of times as well. and my times were very, very similar. So pick whichever you prefer. If you have a fully built and code Slayer set, just use the Slayer set. But if you want this, you can use this as well. The reason I haven't talked about this two set effect is it doesn't really matter that much because you already have max range. It doesn't matter. Duration, a tiny bit increase isn't going to make much of a difference. So we're using it for the 4 pieces and a bit of HP because I don't like very squishy builds. 10K is comfortable for me. Anything more is just too much, I feel. But yeah, so this is the external component. Reactor is the good old burning mechanics reactor, cooldown and crit damage. Arche tuning over here, what I have is we go with the skills here. We take the MP recovery. This is with the firebrand. Then we take all the skill here. We take the purple range. This is enough to max it out. We don't need this one. We go back up, take the MP, we take the cooldown, we go left, we take all the crit damage, we take all the crit rate. We go up here, and I'm taking burn vulnerability. So when attacking enemies inflicted with burn, it does additional damage. So again, elite and stronger enemies that don't go down instantly, they will have the burn status, and you'll do more damage to them. Now, if you are using the Slayer set, then I would recommend this option here. Also, by the way, I'm taking these two. So this is exactly the same. You can go this way, perhaps, instead of MP, reduce the cost a little bit. And then you take fire cohesion. Because with the Slayer set, you will have more skill power. You'll also have 15% from power beyond if you're using my setup. So you can add more firepower with the fire cohesion. Okay, so you can change that if you're using the Slayer set. Besides that, we have the inversion reinforcement. We have focus boost to reduce the cost, selective neurostimulation to increase the MP, and then I'm taking the pain suppression to give you more HP because again, we don't have an HP mod, so a little bit here. You can pick something else if you want it. But yeah, generally this is the inversion reinforcement. Finally, a word about the secret garden. I'm going to use the secret garden against enemies, the elite ones, especially the steel pincer. He tends to walk up to you with his arms across his face like a boxer in the 14th round. And so you have to break his, let's say, outer shell. So I wanted a little bit of power in the secret garden. And also, it helps a little bit for your first ability in getting the grenades back. So what I'm doing here is building it like a normal gun. I'm adding a little more ammo and reload. But the rest of it is similar. So we have action, reaction, rifling, reinforcement, better insight, better concentration, priority, fire rate. Fire rate also helps. I'm not using the brisk walk. You can use that. It'll give you a movement speed increase, but I have 3 sprint cores on the secret garden. Plus I have the overclock, which adds 20%. So I'm already at almost max speed. So I'm not using the brisk walk, but you can use the brisk walk. You can maybe drop the concentration priority and put the brisk walk. So that is the secret. So yeah, so that is Lepic. He's very, very good. And yeah, the surprise is I got the fastest clear time on the first crater, as you'll see very shortly. Bunny, I did 425 for the first crater solo. Galea was doing 425. And now Lepic completed this in 4 minutes and 13 seconds. That was the fastest, but I got very consistent times with Lepic. Whether I was using the Slayer set or whether I was using the Firebrand set, very, very consistent times. 413, 415, 425, 426 2 times, 428, 429, 433, 436. These were the times I was getting. So it was very consistent with the times. And you get different monsters, the elite ones. The steel pincer can take a little longer, like a 10-second longer to take down. But all the others, they go down fairly quickly. So I was very surprised by the time. You just have to get a little practice and not run out of MP. That is the main thing that you have to keep an eye on. But yeah, that is Lepic. I think it's pretty good. So yeah, so I'll leave you with the footage of the first crater mission once again. Thank you for watching and see you next time.
Descendant, a large cluster of breach creatures has been detected in the area. Breach creatures multiplying. There must be a colony.
My shield!
Descendant, Volga's comms traffic is increasing at your location. It looks like Legion of Breach troops have been deployed.
Here you go.
Volga's special assault ship identified. Picking up boy mutant signals. Be careful.
Boom.
Volga's special assault ship spotted.
Seem to be in trouble.
Descendant, requesting takedown of enemy assault ship. Picking up boy mutant signals. Be careful.
Pretty cool, yeah?
Breach follower squad approaching in encircling formation. Respond immediately. Volga's special assault ship spotted.
Activate.
Descendant, primary tactical objective confirmed in Operation Zone. Please take it out.